Hi folks, Matthew Lanigan here with BayWa RE. We're just going to give it another moment. I see a few of you are still logging in, and we'll be back with you in just a moment. Hi folks, Matthew Lanigan here again with BayWa RE. I'm the Chief Commercial Officer here at BayWa. Just really appreciate y'all taking some time to spend with us and our great partner, Fortress Power. Just a couple of housekeeping notes. This will be recorded. It will be placed on our YouTube channel. If you haven't signed up for our YouTube channel yet, I would encourage you all to do so. You can see all of our previous webinars on there as well. This will also be shared in the monthly newsletter coming out in May. There is a questions box in the bottom right corner, so I encourage you all to put your questions in there. We'll do our best to answer as we go. When it comes to questions, continuing education is very important to BayWa internally, and we're happy to share that externally as well with our customer base. So just a quick test to make sure the chat box is working. Can I just see if there's a few of you out there? Great, I see a few coming in. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Gary Thompson, Regional Sales Manager with Fortress Power. Gary?
Yes, hello everyone. Appreciate everybody's time today. Glad that we could have some great people and installers to learn a little bit more about Fortress Power. So allow me to share my screen, and I'll be happy to tell a bit more about our company and what we have to offer. So Fortress Power, we are a US-based company headquartered in Southampton, Pennsylvania, and we are a manufacturer for high-quality lithium iron phosphate, or LFP batteries that are use a high-quality automotive standard for residential and commercial applications, ranging from 5 kilowatt hours all the way up to 5 megawatt hours. We've been in business for about 6 years now. We're owned by a group of private equity investors as well as solar veterans. And since our inception, we have deployed over 20,000 batteries in the field throughout the United States, Canada, Central Caribbean, Puerto Rico, and internationally. Our company's been a key lithium battery supplier for several government and utility entities. One notable one is that it's been a 2-year project. We're still working on it, but we're close to completing providing battery backup for SEPTA, which is the Southeastern Pennsylvania Transit Authority. And what our company has been tasked to do is we're providing battery backup for all of the traffic signals throughout SEPTA's railways. So it's a pretty extensive project, and it's one that we're proud to say that we're taking part of. Then regarding our financing partners, we're approved with most of the major lenders in our industry. So if your end users are going to be using Fortress Power products, it shouldn't be too difficult for them to obtain financing. We're set up with all the well-known companies such as Mosaic, SunGauge, and Sunlight Financial, and Lightstream. So I believe having the relationships with these large lenders demonstrates our company's strong bankability and financials. And then a little bit more about our company. One thing that we feel really separates Fortress Power from some of the competition is that we really stress having strong customer support. It's not difficult to pick up the phone and get one of our technical support engineers on the line, or if you send them an email, you shouldn't have to wait around too long to get an answer. And we realize that energy storage and batteries are fairly new to a lot of grid-tied installers, or if anything, Fortress Power batteries may be a new thing. So we have a strong team in place that's well trained and also patient to field any type of questions, whether it's on the design side or if you're in the field trying to commission a battery. Our team is well trained and ready to assist if need be. And so jumping into product, I'll start on the residential side of things. We have two main batteries that we offer for residential. The first being the eVault Max 18.5 kilowatt hour. This uses tier 1 automotive or EV quality cells in our battery, and it's warranted for 8,000 plus cycles or 10 years at 80% depth of discharge. That's a fairly easy unit to install. Shouldn't take really more than 10 minutes to install the unit and commission it. The extent of the physical installation for the battery is just going to be taking the battery cables from the eVault Max and putting them onto the terminals of the inverter. So for end users looking for the largest battery and the most bang for your buck, the eVault Max is our flagship battery. It does offer local monitoring through an LCD display on the front. Try to zoom in here a little bit. And as you can see, the LCD display illustrates the battery's voltage, state of charge percentage, total energy output, as well as the current on the unit. The eVault Max is a great choice for whole home backup, but it's also a nice choice for smaller commercial applications. This battery can scale up to 370 kilowatt hours or 20 units. So if you do have a small commercial project that's in 3-phase, certainly the eVault Max can meet the needs of the smaller applications. Our battery offers closed loop communications with most 48-volt hybrid inverters, such as Solar, Schneider, Outback's upcoming Mojave inverter, Victron, Growatt, and Focus. And then lastly, the eVault Max is UL 9540 certified. It's currently undergoing 9540A certification. We expect that it'll pass the testing within the next 4 to 5 weeks. And here's just some pictures of some different field installations for the eVault. I think a lot of these are more on the commercial side, but the top picture here in the middle is looks like it's in somebody's attic. That's a good example of a residential installation with the eVault. And as you can see, it has a very nice, a nice clean look to it. It looks like a small mini fridge. So you can't put beer in the eVault Max. Then moving on to our second battery, we have the eFlex 5.4 kilowatt hour unit. This is a smaller, more versatile unit, hence the name. This battery can be mounted on the floor. You can wall mount it, it can fit in a standard computer server rack. And then we also we have indoor and outdoor enclosure options for it, which I'll show in some subsequent slides. As mentioned, we do have an outdoor enclosure, so the eFlex is an outdoor rated unit. It has an IP65 enclosure that helps protect the unit from day-to-day humidity and day-to-day dust that the battery would be experiencing if it was placed outdoors. And I'll zoom in here a little bit. You can see that there's some ridges built into the unit. The ridges here aren't for aesthetic purposes. They're actually built into the enclosure to help the eFlex battery dissipate heat quicker. And so if you look at three of the main reasons why a battery will degrade over time, it's dust, humidity, and heat dissipation. And so we feel that the enclosure that's been built around the eFlex addresses those pretty well and will enable the battery to have a longer life. So give me a second here. I'm trying to zoom out, but having a little technical difficulty. Here we go.
Gary, we just have a quick question. Can the eVault be installed on the older Outback FX units?
Yes, it can.
Okay, and one other, does eVault or eFlex have a heater?
They do not, but we do have a, for the enclosures that I'll show in the upcoming slides, they do have heater options that you could add to the unit for the colder operating temperatures.
And sorry, one last question.
I don't think I can see the chat questions, so please just interrupt when you see one, because they're not coming up in my window.
We got one more here. Can the 18.5 and the 5.4 be installed together?
They cannot.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, so the eFlex, as mentioned, this is a more versatile unit than the eVault Max. You can use this for residential, small commercial, mobile applications. You can put it in a boat, in an RV. It's a very flexible unit. And what's nice about it is you can scale this up to 15 eFlexes or 81 kilowatt hours. So again, for a very small commercial project, this could be a nice choice. The cost per kilowatt hour, it's not too much different than the eVault Max. So there may be certain scenarios where you need 25 kWh rather than 18.5 or 37. So the eFlex offers different combinations as well that may be better suited for certain end users' needs. Just a closer picture of the eFlex. It doesn't have a built-in LCD display like the eVault Max, but it does have a status indicator at least that will let you know that the battery is on and if the BMS is functioning, which is very important for the battery. And here's some pictures of the eFlex in the field. As you can see, it looks very nice mounted on the wall. It's not too large. The unit weighs about 97 pounds, I believe, so it's not too difficult to transport and put up on a wall. And it can also be mounted on the floor as well. This here is the FlexRack unit. Let me try to move this little box here so it's not covering up the picture. So this is the FlexRack is the indoor version of our shelving unit for the eFlex. This is expandable up to 4 FlexRacks or 4 units for 15 eFlex batteries total, 81 kWh. The FlexRacks does come with an integrated bus bar, which makes things easy for installation, as well as 4 sets of battery cables. And then it also comes with a DIN rail mount, so you can add a thermostat if needed for a colder climate. And just to be clear, it doesn't come with the thermostat. It comes with a mount that a thermostat can be added. Thermostats for this type of unit shouldn't run more than $60, $70, $80. It's not too expensive of an add-on.
Couple more questions, Gary.
Sure.
Do both batteries communicate with a solar hybrid inverter?
Yes, they do. They both will communicate in closed loop communication with Solar's hybrid inverters, the 8K, 12K, and the upcoming 15K that they're releasing, I believe, this summer.
And does eVault come with wall mounting brackets?
It does come with 2 brackets so you can mount it to the wall in the case that it's in an area where there's earthquakes or something like that. But it's highly advisable to still have the unit on the floor. You would need to have some pretty significant backing in the wall to support an eVault Max. The unit weighs about 500 pounds.
Thank you.
Yeah, so this is the FlexRack. This is the indoor shelving unit that we offer. There's some pictures of the FlexRack being installed, and then the completed installation. Very nice looking product. And then, well, primarily our batteries are installed on the DC side, but I did want to mention that our batteries also are a nice choice for AC coupled solutions. So if you have end users that, after the fact of having a solar system installed, they're looking to add a battery, an AC coupling solution's a good way to go for that. Our batteries can AC couple into any existing array that's up to 22 kilowatts. So that should cover most residential installations. And what's nice is you can turn any PV system into a battery ready system. For this, we work with Schneider, Outback, SMA, as well as the solar inverters for AC coupling.
Couple more questions here, Gary, too. Does it not communicate with the Solarc 5K?
I don't believe it does. I'll have to double check on that, but I have not seen the 5K come up in the list of compatible inverters.
And then lastly, thermostat is add-on for the FlexRack, but is the heater factory installed?
It is not. That is something that the installer would need to purchase separately and install.
Thank you.
So that's our this is our AC coupled solution for, as mentioned, people that are looking to retrofit a battery into an existing solar PV array. This is the compatible inverters. Covered this already. I'm happy to share these slides after the completion of the presentation. So anyone that wants to take a look at this. This is another slide. I think this will probably be better to for everyone to take a look at afterwards. But this is a nice cheat sheet that shows basic options with our battery paired with a hybrid inverter and the different types of things that you can back up and in the duration that things can be backed up for. It's very useful for people that are using our batteries currently to be able to offer the correct amount of backup to your end user. But jumping into new products, we do have some new things on the horizon that are about to release, and one that we just released that I'll cover at the end. The first is the Guardian. This is going to be an add-on accessory to the eFlex and the eVault Max that will enable the end user to view the battery's vital statistics from their PC or their smartphone, rather than relying on the software of the inverter to view that type of information. This will be more robust and give the end user more information. What's also nice is for all of you installers, you'll be able to make firmware updates remotely through the Guardian rather than having to go on site and do it manually, which is the current process. So for the Guardian, it's a win for installer and the end user. Something that we definitely need to get released as soon as possible. I believe it should be available within the next 2 months. Retail price on this will be in the mid US dollar, excuse me, mid $100 US dollars. I'm totally bumbling that, but hopefully everyone understands what I'm trying to say. Second product is the door to rack. This is the outdoor rated version for the enclosure for the eFlex. This will hold 4 eFlex units, so similar to the FlexRack, up to 21.6 kilowatt hours, and then up to 4 units. one interesting thing about this is I don't have a full picture of the full enclosure, but there's going to be a second part of this enclosure that will also cover up the inverter as well, if the end user wants just one large uniform looking product rather than having a battery and an inverter hanging on the wall from separate brands that may look separate, that have different branding, different colors. This will give the end user the option to have everything Fortress Power branded, and I think it'll look really nice compared to the current option. And so this will come with the IP65 rated enclosure, so it'll be good for outdoor use. This will come with a passive cooling fan for warmer climates, and then it will also include the mount for a thermostat if a thermostat needs to be added. It will not come with the thermostat. It will just only include a mount. And this should be releasing sometime in the middle of June. Just to play it safe, let's say July, but not too far away. And as we have more information about it, I'll certainly be sharing that with the BayWa team, and they'll be able to keep everyone abreast of pricing and release date on this unit and spec sheets when I have them. Then later in this year, we're working on a high voltage battery. We expect to launch this around the SPI, Solar Power International show. So this should launch in the September timeframe. Don't have a actual picture yet, but this is a artist rendition of what the new battery should be looking like. It'll be a 20 kilowatt hour unit. And so far, I know that it will be compatible with Solis, Goodway, SMA, and Fronius's high voltage inverters. We'll have more partnerships to announce as we get closer to the launch date. Then I mentioned we had one product that we have already launched for one new product that we've launched for this year, and that is the Espire 233. So this is a commercial ESS application. This unit comes with inverter and battery. So it starts at 233 kilowatt hours and can be expandable up to 3.5 megawatt hours. And we feel that this will be a nice option in that space, since Tesla and some of the other utility scale manufacturers don't really offer a lot of options in the under 5 megawatt hour range. So we're hoping that this really hits a sweet spot for the commercial and industrial segment. The main applications we suspect this will be used for will be peak shaving for demand charge management, as well as load shifting for time of use savings. But certainly this will work in an off-grid function as well. I'd love to see this in an off-grid function. I think it would be really cool. But as mentioned, it does come with the inverter. We partnered with Delta Inverters on this product. On the inverter side, it starts at 125 kilowatts, and you can have a maximum of 5.
I do have one question here, Gary. Oh. Hi, Gary. If you're there, I can't hear you at the moment.
So if you don't install...
Sorry, you dropped out there for a minute, Gary. You kind of froze. And we do have a few people have written that we can hear you now. Okay. There was a question from John. The new high voltage battery unveiled at SPI. Do you mean high voltage DC? So a DC coupled battery?
Yes.
Thank you.
Where did I cut out? Where should I pick up?
30 seconds, we lost you there.
Did it cut out after this slide, or should I just start from the beginning for the Espire? Okay. Yeah, so I mentioned we have one new product that we've launched for this year, and that is the Espire 233. This is a CNI battery storage solution. We've partnered with Delta Inverters on this unit, so it comes with 120. It starts the base package would be a 125 kilowatt inverter with 233 kilowatt hours of battery backup, and it's going to be expanded up to 3.5 megawatt hours. I think this will be a nice product. It'll meet a niche in the market that there's not a lot of options for, as Tesla and some of the other utility scale manufacturers don't focus so much on the under 5 megawatt hour segment. So I believe this should be a good fit for developers working in that space. We suspect the main applications for the Espire will be peak shaving for demand charge management, as well as load shifting for time of use savings. But this will work in an off-grid function as well. It'd be pretty cool to see this in an off-grid application, actually. So as mentioned, this starts at 125 kilowatts on the inverter side. It can be maxed out for 5 units for 625 kilowatts. And then on the battery side, the maximum is 3.5 megawatt hours. This is produced on a per project basis, so it's about a 4-month lead time for the Espire once we receive the order for this product. And so that's pretty much it for products and new products. Just would like to conclude just to go over a little bit more about the different chemistry and cells that Fortress Power uses in our batteries that help try to differentiate us in the lithium field. So if you're currently installing lithium batteries, it's important to know some of these bullet points here that I'll cover. I think the most important, the first one is not all lithium iron phosphate or LFP batteries are the same. Different manufacturers use different compound mixes, which determine the battery's longevity and the quality of the battery. The same cell manufacturer produces batteries at different quality levels based on the application, EV and automotive being the highest quality, followed by energy storage and then telecommunication. At Fortress Power, we use automotive cells in our batteries, which, as mentioned, are the top in the industry. And we also use prismatic cells, which have the best power density and the best thermal stability. Some of competitors use pouch or cylindrical cells, and certainly Fortress Power is not the only company that uses prismatic cells. But if you're going to be installing lithium batteries, you certainly want to go with the manufacturer that does have prismatic cells in their batteries, as they're going to offer the greatest safety for the end user, as well as last the longest. I think this is an interesting slide. This is from our tier 1 manufacturer, and this illustrates their automotive cell versus the telecom cell at a 1C rating. And as you can see here, the automotive cell will get double the cycle lives of the telecom cell. So just to stress again, our company, Fortress Power, we use the top automotive cells in our batteries to ensure the best stability and the longest life in the battery. Some manufacturers will say that they can charge the battery at a 1C rating, which is true. You can do that. You can charge a Fortress Power battery at a 1C rating. But the way that our batteries are spec'd out, we recommend that you don't charge or discharge the battery more than 0.5 C rating. When you go beyond that, it really greatly impacts the cycle life of the battery. And it doesn't really matter which company or which manufacturer it is. These are more science-based numbers. So just one thing to keep in mind if you're comparing different types of lithium iron phosphate batteries, if the manufacturer is saying that it can be charged at a 1C rating, that is true, but it's going to be a detriment to the battery cycle life in the long run. And then aside from the cells and the chemistry that we use, Fortress Power powers our battery, powers the battery management system using a digital processor. A lot of the other lithium batteries out there use a MOSFET BMS, which is more of a rudimentary circuit board. And the reason why you'd want to go with a manufacturer that uses a digital processor is a digital processor based BMS is going to help protect the battery bank and users' $20,000–$30,000 investment much better than a MOSFET will. It'll protect the battery banks or the battery from thermal runaway as well as inverter inrush current when a large appliance gets turned on and there's a big electrical surge. A digital based BMS is going to be able to detect that much sooner and protect the batteries more efficiently. And just comparing a MOSFET BMS to a digital processor based BMS, as you can see, there's tremendous advantages by going the digital route. You're going to be able to charge and discharge the battery quicker and more efficiently. You're going to be able to communicate with the inverter better, as well as just have much better reliability and control over the battery. Lithium iron phosphate batteries are at the cutting edge as far as home energy storage, and by going with the MOSFET based BMS, just a circuit board that was used in things like Walkmans 20 years ago, it's really selling the technology short and not taking advantage of having such a high powered battery in the end user's home. So that pretty much covers all of my presentation. In closing, I'll kind of go back to one of my first points, why choose Fortress Power, what separates us. There's a lot of great manufacturers out there for batteries. Certainly we're not the only one, but what really separates us is the technical support that we provide. Not only is our team available readily on the phone or through email, but we also have a page on the chat application called Discord. And this is a really great place where current Fortress Power customers can go and start to have more of an ongoing dialogue with the technical support team or one of these specific engineers. So if you're installing our batteries and there's some things in the firmware that you would like to see, or some things you'd like to see in future product development, Discord's a great place to go to give that feedback rather than picking up the phone and submitting just a complaint about a specific issue. The Discord site, you can have just a nice running dialogue for weeks or months on end. And it's also a good place to get answers to questions after hours. I'm sure many of you will be installing over the weekend, or your teams are installing over the weekend. We don't guarantee that questions on Discord will be answered on Saturday at 3 p.m., but there's a good chance it will, though. Our engineers are very invested in our company, and they are pretty well known for getting back to customers at all sorts of hours on Discord. So it's something that we've implemented that the customers that are aware of it really take advantage of it, and they really enjoy being able to engage with the tech team on more of a personal level. So that's the conclusion of my presentation today. I can't hear everyone's speakers, so hopefully I didn't put anyone to sleep. Trying to keep this somewhat short here.
Thanks, Gary. I really appreciate it, guys. If there's any more questions, please let us know now. We'll hang on here for just another minute. We'll wait to see if some more come in, but just a couple outro notes here. Thank you, everybody, for attending. Really appreciate it. I know you're all busy as it starts to get into the warm season here. If you haven't set up a web shop account yet, I would encourage you all to do so. You can find pricing, specs, warranty, install manuals, inventory levels, all that sort of good stuff on the Fortress Power products there. Once again, this was recorded. It will go up on our YouTube channel shortly, so I encourage you all to sign up for that. It'll also come out in our newsletter for May. If you need more information, please give us a call. We got lots of sales reps waiting to help you out. And yeah, just thank you all once again, and thank you, Gary and Fortress. Really great partner for BayWa, and appreciate you spending the time to give us all a bit of education on the product.
Yeah, I appreciate it as well. Thank you, BayWa team, for setting this up, and all the ladies and gentlemen that sat through this half hour. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, everybody. Take care.
Cheers.